to the first ever episode of Dawg House Sessions. Joining me now is the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Vance from Death Of Uriah. Chris, what's up, brother?
What's up? How's it going?
Oh, you know, another day in paradise, man. Hope all is well your way. Let's dive right into this thing.
In the Head Trip camp, how is it going there?
It's dark and red, little gloomy.
It looks like abducted by fucking aliens. I like it.
We can get a little eerie in here.
Oh
yeah, digging right into this thing. Chris, as far as your position in the band, what do you do in Death Of Uriah?
I help compose. I play guitar. I help with the financial aspects of it, and that's about it.
As far as being a guitarist in Death Of Uriah, what tuning do you play in and why?
Top C across the board. It helps with George's vocal audiation. Plus, I just really like the tuning. You get really beautiful majors and minors out of that tuning, in my opinion.
Most definitely, I agree. What's the story behind Death Of Uriah? How did it all become a thing? You know, when did the band become an official unit?
Band became an official unit hardcore in 2019. We are comprised of a bunch of different bands from years ago that between George, Matt, me, not really Brian. Brian was out of it for quite a while. I brought him back in, worked his ass off, picked up the kit, ran with it. George and Matt had bands together years ago, and we just melded together by, chance of fate, I guess you'd call it.
I'm glad you guys did, man, because I absolutely love you guys' sound and tone. Let's talk about the latest released album, Terminal Vices. How was the writing process, and who did you work with?
Writing process was straight across the board. Everybody puts in equal amounts of work in this band as far as the writing. Nobody tells anybody how to play their parts. We worked with Will Baker at his studio. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Shit was cake. Very easy to work with. We were in and out of there in, I think, 4 weeks, and then Will put in an additional, I think, 4 to 5 weeks doing mastering. He did a great job. We went in there, guns blazing, ready to go. Had everything pretty much templated out and just ran with it.
Definitely a solid album. I definitely recommend everyone check out Terminal Vices. As far as the first music video you guys released for that album, Dirt Alchemist, which was released February 5th of 2021, who helped you guys create that video, and what inspired you guys to go with that track first?
A guy that's friends with the band named Mark helped us with that video, and he did a fantastic job. I want to say his company's called Asphyxiant Productions, and he did a great job. The meaning behind that song is it's about a junkie fucking heroin dealer. And George has more insight into that than I do. George is by far the most creation-driven person in the whole band when it comes to lyricism and imagery and lyricism. He's the fucking man at that shit. So.
Oh, yeah. So, Chris, what's the rig setup for 2021? What are you playing in Death Of Uriah? What's the monster behind the sound?
That EVH EL34, Mesa 212 cabinet. I got Ivory as a backup. I also have an EVH Stealth. LTD black metal, single pickup guitar with a Floyd. And the key to all of it, the Dunlop 60, because I'm princess fingers.
No, man. That's the way to go. That's the same grit that I use as well. 60 is the way to go.
I don't know, man. Some of these cats got these thick picks.
Hell yeah. Them motherfuckers be so damn thick. I'd be breaking a damn fingernail in them bitches. I'm like, nah, man. I can't be playing with this.
A couple players that play with some pretty thick stuff, but they're heavy-handed players, but they sound really good.
Hell yeah. To each their own, man. Let's talk about what do you do for a living, man? What is it that drives you behind the scenes of Death Of Uriah? What do you do?
I am a carpet cleaner by trade, but there's a lot of gray area with that. I also do hazmat cleanup, dead body removal, dead animal removal, you name it. All the stuff that nobody else wants to do, that's what I do.
Facts. I look at Chris as the defender. Speaking of defender, recently, I have to say, thank you for doing what you did recently for the North Carolina metal scene. As many know, there was something that went down recently where there was a festival that was booked, and unfortunately, this gentleman decided to shut down this event due to certain personal reasons with other bands, and some that weren't even on the bill. Unfortunately, there was word going around that people weren't going to receive refunds, and I know you had very much a lot to say to that, especially the type of person this person was.
Yeah, the event center that's holding it is a great event center. The event itself was fucked from jump just because of the asshat that was running it. He made a little diss video thinking he was cute and above everybody, dissing a bunch of bands on another festival that's still happening, ironically enough. And a lot of these bands kind of felt like their hands were tied. So I went after this guy with a few other people, and that festival is no more. The festival he was mocking is probably bigger now than it ever is. And the irony of it is I'm not on either fucking festival. I just stand up for the bros and the girls that are on it.
What I gotta say, Chris, that's one thing about this man that people will, if you don't know already, he's extremely real, straight to the point, is not afraid to tell how he feels, and that's one thing I respect not only as a business side, but as a friend as well. Chris is as real as it comes. So definitely thank you for sticking it to the man, and as they say, the trash typically takes itself out, and in this case, it's way the fuck out. It doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
way the fuck out.
I've been trying to contact the gentleman, but he's gone.
I guess that's what happens when you get your ass ripped across pavement.
Mm-hmm.
So moving back to what we were talking about prior, as far as the new album Terminal Vices, what is the future for Death of Uriah in 2021? Are you working on new material? What's the future of Death of Uriah as of right now?
All right, it's time for the Dawg House exclusive. Ready? Jason has heard the whole new EP that we did. I sent him everything. And if anybody wants to be pissed off about it with the situation, ask me if I give a shit. No, we did another EP, the follow-up Terminal Vices. The premise of it is George decided to take it the route of going after all the fucked up Hollywood elites that are out there. The name of the album is going to be Pedowood. We're recording a video with Jaden later in July for Death of Celebrity, and it's a little bit heavier than Terminal Vices, but there's a song, Void, probably one of the best songs I've ever written, or had a hand in writing, should I say. I'm proud of the boys. They all fucking did a great job on this demo, and I'm looking forward to putting it out, man. It's going to be dope.
I gotta say, I heard this new single along with the EP, and there's some of the best work I've heard this band do. Even with your earlier stuff like Follow Through and Scarab.
I hate that.
I really enjoyed pretty much your whole discography as far as Death of Uriah, even with the earlier years of the band to now. And I gotta say, after listening to it, it's definitely the next chapter. And I think all your fans that are listening now or watching this, people that have never heard of this band, that's now checking out this band, you will not be disappointed. And as far as that song, The Void, I definitely think that's going to really stand out outside the entire EP.
Yeah. And when the EP drops, if you want physical copies, hit us up. If you don't, go on Spotify and listen to it for free. Steal the fuck out of this album. Download it illegally. I don't even know if that's still a thing. Don't burn on it. Take the shit and run with it. It's yours.
So basically, you guys can find Death of Uriah on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, you name it. All social media platforms, all music platforms. Check these guys out. I know earlier we touched bases on earlier material like Follow Through and Scarab. What is the story behind Scarab? I know that was a very touchy subject when it dropped, and I know it's one of the most fuck you songs you guys have within the earlier material. What is the story behind that track?
Scarab was about George pretty much bringing forth the shortcomings of somebody he had an issue with and producing it for the world to hear. And it kind of backfired on us in a beautiful way because we had a bunch of people approach us saying, hey, this reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, this reminds me of my fucking friend that just completely abandoned me. So it took on a bright, full meaning after the fact in the most ironic ways, but I'm glad it did because I think that's what you want a song to do. You know, you hear a song that you know where it came from, especially with a head trip, or your more intimate stuff with Cold Sun, when you write it, you know exactly where you were when you wrote it and what it means to you. But for someone like me to hear it, it might remind me of a completely different scenario that matches up with that exact thing that you did.
And that's the beautiful thing about music, man. Everyone can take something from it. What you feel may necessarily not be what I feel, but we're in the same unit. You know, we're both feeling that feeling, but for different topics. Whether it be a relationship that's gone bad between a spouse, a friendship, or just somebody you just don't fucking like, you know. So I definitely can relate. And I think that's one reason I'm a fan myself of you guys, is you're not afraid to say, fuck you. And I love that about you guys. So, if you had any advice for anyone that's coming up as far as a musician, whether they're a solo artist or a band that's trying to make it out here in the world of being in a band, what is some advice you can give to the guys that are trying to grind and get to where they need to be?
This question gets me in trouble, but I'm going to answer it. Number one, invest in yourself first and foremost, whether it's gear or even lessons, marketing, don't sign with shitty management. That is the number one thing I can tell you as far as advice goes. If people like me, like if your friends do more for your band than your manager does, find another fucking manager. We don't have a manager. We manage ourselves. We will continue to do that unless in some odd circumstance we get picked up by somebody. But as long as we can afford to fund ourselves and throw ourselves out there the way that we do, and we're just going to keep looking at it the way we're doing it. This is fun for us. And that's the key to it. Make sure you have fun, but the second you start treating it like a business, you have to do it with all aspects, accounted for. If you have and your manager sucks, it's kind of like having a shitty boss. You're going to walk, right? Don't fucking sit there and suffer just because you feel like you owe it to this person that claims to be representing you that isn't. Now, if you got a great manager, fucking shoot for the moon. Go for it. But if you don't believe in yourself to begin with, you're not going to.
Most definitely. Definitely believe in yourself. Trust in your craft. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't compare your success to other people. Focus on your craft and your own, and you can never go wrong. Just put the work in and grind. I agree 100%. Chris, going back to what we talked about earlier, I know you said something about a music video is in the works for Death of Celebrity with Jaden Frost over at JFP Studios. Yeah. When can we expect that?
Hopefully mid-August, depending on, he's got his hands on a bunch of stuff. But I like everything. I like y'all's video that you did with him. Everything I've seen from Jaden has been A1 so far. We're taking a weekend to shoot our video. So, and as far as I know, everybody that's worked with him has had a pretty good turnaround time.
As far as us wrapping this thing up, I want to say thank you, everyone, for watching our first episode of Dawg House Media's Dawg House Sessions. Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on, bro, not only as a friend, but in the business side. You have always been very straightforward, and I just want to say thank you for coming on here, being the first guest, and sticking it to the man.
Oh, shit, yeah, dude, anytime. As a matter of fact, we were talking earlier, I'm looking forward to possibly co-hosting some of these with you.
And it will be fun. Honestly, I think that would be great because it's pure honesty. I mean, what other podcast or video place are you watching that's local where you can be completely honest, no strings attached, straight up honest, brutally honest?
Nowhere local. No, you got to go to like Rogan or Segura guys to get honest, and that's a whole different topic, man.
Exactly. Now, if anyone's watching this, you're an artist or you're in the band and you're interested in being on the show, feel free to send me a message and let's talk. Once again, Chris, you're the band, dude. Thank you for being on the first episode of Dawg House Sessions. Everybody have a good night, and thank you.
Later.
There's no reason to live in decay.